Hello and welcome to another review. My name is Daniel Gibson and today we're talking about Steve Jobs the movie. Now, Steve Jobs the movie, if you can guess, is about, oh yeah, Steve Jobs. And basically it's about his life, but really his life post Apple becoming a success, but like right before he releases the Macintosh. It all takes place in that section of time just before they do their big Apple events. Just like that 2-hour span that's there. It takes place over several big releases over the course of this time up until the release of the iMac. So it's this really cool section of time in which you see Steve Jobs' vision being molded and formed. This guy who really saw the world like nobody else did, and has a reason behind his insanity that other people think, why is this important? So you see that whole section of his life and his mentality and the way he conducts himself, but it's also in contrast to here's this guy who is creating these beautiful things, these computers that change people's lives, and revolutionizing the way the world works in a lot of senses. I mean, he truly did. To seeing him also have this contrast of here's his daughter who he won't even recognize as his own daughter. He's afraid or whatever the emotion was. I don't know that he knew in the movie or in real life probably why he was doing it, but so it's this whole world of painting a picture of this guy who everybody loves in a lot of senses. They hold him in high regard, who's passed away, and showing him in a light that genius or not genius, but ideas that change the world don't always look sane to everybody else. I really enjoyed watching the parts of seeing him focus on these really small details that you and I might be like, why is he doing that? Why is that so important, this little detail? And so I enjoyed seeing this guy who understood little things that change the way you use a whole entire section of life, of what we do nowadays. Just change a whole section of a consumer technology of importance. And so it's cool to see this delineation the guy makes. For me, that was my favorite part, was definitely seeing him birth this company. And not even that, birth an idea and to see a vision come to fruition. I really enjoyed the relationship between him and his daughter, because you see this chaoticness that's in every other aspect of his life also coming into this, but you see that he cares really deeply for both things. You know, both are his children in a lot of senses. So that was a really cool way of painting a picture in two different fields for this guy who is kind of a mystery. Not a mystery, we see him all over, but you know, really who he was. I thought that was really cool, and to see how he struggles to find that common ground, or that way to bring intelligent people who he needs to bring his vision into play. People who he needs to get to where he needs to be to see his vision finished and completed and out there for everyone to see. But to see that whole destruction of relationships as he is so determined. I don't want to ramble on or anything like that, but it's hard to say without going into too much of a description about the movie. That's why I'm kind of being vague. But all in all, guys, here's what I think. For me, the movie was a great time. I enjoyed it. But on the negative sides, there's definitely, this movie is character and dialogue driven. It's driven by Steve Jobs and played by Michael Fassbender. I can't talk, see there? Michael Fassbender. And so you see this whole focus upon him, and it's all taking place in a room, in a group of people, and so if you don't like that style of movie, you're probably not going to like Steve Jobs the movie. It's just not going to happen. So that's definitely something to think about. This movie's not for everybody. If that's the kind of movie you don't resonate with, you're not going to enjoy the movie probably. But for me, it was great. I think on the parental guide side, the movie was fairly clean in the terms of a Hollywood movie. There was no sex, there was no nudity, there was no violence or anything of that sort actually. It was just, there was a lot of language, but most of it took place in times where you really didn't catch it, or if you did catch it, it was very quick and over. So it wasn't like some movies where it's like every other word's the F-bomb or anything like that, but it's definitely apparent, it's definitely there. All in all, guys, for me, this movie gets a 7.2. I really enjoyed it. One of my favorite movies thus far, really, this year. It's been a rocky year for movies, and this one definitely for me, I truly enjoyed it. I liked to see this guy who we read about, we see about, we hear about, kind of come to life. And so it was really a cool time for me. So all in all, guys, if that's what you think you'd enjoy, if you kind of agree with me, you get this guy, you see this guy who's everywhere, and you want to see a little bit more about him, definitely a good one to go see. But if you're not going to see it this weekend, let me know in the comments down below what you're going to do, why you don't want to see the Steve Jobs movie. You know, because we all see the world different. We all have different things about us that we focus on, don't. So let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking about for this weekend and this movie in general. Thank you so much to everybody who commented on my last video. Tell me how Multiply Media meant to you and how you enjoy my reviews and stuff. Many of you guys are my commenters who are on so many things, and that means a lot to me. You guys don't even know how much that brings a smile to my face every time I wake up or take a look at my phone and I see one of you guys that commented on my video. So it really means a lot. Thank you so much for your kind words and everything else. You guys are awesome, all right? Thank you so much. You make it worth it to do this every time and, you know, put all this work in. So thank you. As always, guys, my name's Daniel Gibson, and I'll see you next time. God bless.